Hi, welcome to Agile Night. Today we are going to discuss about the enterprise agile transformation. As you all well aware about, transformation of development teams into agile environment is becoming inevitable in IT organizations, wherein to improve the quality and as well as the deliverables of it. At the same time, even transformation of enterprises as well as the organizations to the agile environment is also becoming mandatory, and it becoming more value for any organization since couple of years. So what is that are we going to discuss about the agile enterprise agile transformation in the today's session? In this today I'm going to discuss about few points. The first thing is that what exactly the agile transformation is all about. Second, why enterprise transformation is being used for and for what reason. At the same time, difference between the traditional and agile organizations first. Followed by this, what are the benefits in agile transformation? Last but not least, what strategies do we require to build enterprise transformation? So these are the points I am going to discuss in the present video. To start with, if you start an enterprise agile transformation, the first thing we need to understand about the business agility part, where business agility majorly allow any organizations to survive in both solid and as well as unstable circumstances, followed by this innovating and delivering effectively in any circumstances as well. That's the reason why most of these agile companies, as far as the transformation itself is concerned, to believe it, to have a better equipped for the future itself. At the same time, this agile business model will also becoming an option for the organizations, and slowly it has transformed into necessary all that stuff. So any organization, if we see, especially in reference to the effectiveness of the job, effectiveness of the work, what is that they are performing, enterprise level transformation has becoming an important element for any of the organizations. Now let's get into what exactly a transformation is all about. So when you see a transformation from a larger context, it's all about transforming the traditional as well as business model developments for a better sustainability and as well as for the stability. So that whatever the kind of business model are we going to use, especially in reference to the agile business models and all, which must be thrives towards flexible and collaborative, followed by self-organizing environments. Every organization depends on the condition of the market, situation as well as the demands. Whatever the necessary things to be changed, whatever the necessary activities to be performed and all everything is essentially important. This has nothing to do with transformation of enterprises. Even this can be applied even for the teams as well. So whenever we are working on the teams, so this is being applicable even for those teams as well. So when you talk about agile transformation and all, this is what generally it was. Now, when you talk about enterprise transformation, majorly focusing on few areas. The one is about transforming the workforce attitudes, means people who are working on the enterprise and all everything, their attitude development is something is important, right? So how they are transforming their workforce as attitude into an agile way of approach is something essentially important. At the same time, core company values, whatever the value systems the company has, we must align with the agile values principles with the company value system. At the same time, mindset of any organization, because if you want to transform organizations into an enterprise way of agile approach, end of the day organization should have that mindset to perform that. So these are the major areas wherein we need to understand in reference to the enterprise agile transformation itself is concerned. So this is what generally we need to understand in reference to the enterprise transformation itself is concerned. So if you talk about enterprise transformation, transforming workforce attitudes followed by core company values. At the same time, mindset of any organization into an agile environment are essentially important when an organization wants to transform into the agile way of approach. Now, when you talk about the enterprise agile transformation from a larger context here, one should know about the kind of benefits, right? So what are the different benefits in agile transformation is required? So that is what I'm explaining now. So the first of all, let us understand about the benefits. When you talk about the benefits of agile transformation, the first one is customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is one of the high priorities of agile organizations. Through regular interactions with customers and as well as the clarity of expectations, followed by this tackling issues when they arise and all, at the same time adjusting their approaches and all, everything to meet the customer standards are important. When we talk about performances, right? So the second point majorly we need to understand about the operational performances. When you talk about operational performances and all, which includes the productive distribution, at the same time which brings the maximum output in the given circumstances. Especially if you see agile companies achieve it due to flexible structure, management and administration as well. Followed by this, when we see the enhancing transparency in traditional companies, especially in reference to the agile organizations, which share their visions and as well as goals across teams and individuals by increasing the transparency of leadership. At the same time, it will also be useful to improve the accountability across the organization as well. So this transparency helps every employee understand how their work ties into a big picture and why their work matters, which is critical for their morale. Now, when you're talking about the acceleration of the delivery part, which agile companies deliver products faster due to flexible resources, followed by the kind of allocations, what is that are we doing? At the same time, frequent testing and as well as quick problem addressing with less bottlenecks and greater adaptability to change is something essentially required. When you're talking about the third point, which is called employee engagement and satisfaction, the organization structure and as well as the level of autonomy in agile teams allow employees to enrich their work experiences and grow wider and beyond to their job duties. Moreover, high employees engagement and scores attract better applicants and support organizations in the war of talent. Along with this, increasing employee satisfaction, agile teams provide employees with autonomy that allows them to speed up their professional growth. Employees are motivated to try on their new responsibilities, learning new skills and delivering quality of work to increase their professional value system as well. Reaping the best benefits of their efforts, these employees will be the most loyal and as well as motivated people in any of the organization. Along with that, better team collaboration in agile organization, teams are encouraged to self-organizing and offer their own solutions as well. Every individual takes ownership of their work, meaning they need to solve the problems, collaborating and finding ways to interact effectively, which is likely to boost team morale. When you talk about the fourth benefit, when you talk about the enhanced financial performance is an inevitable result of the three benefits, what generally we call it as customer satisfaction, employee engagement, and operational performance. Agile companies show maximum performance in any of the circumstances while taking into account the needs of their clients and allowing their employees to grow into their professionals. Their competitive advantage in the market will attract more clients and generate more revenue than traditional companies as well. At the same time, the need to become agile leaves no doubts, but the question is how to companies make the transition from the traditional model. Enterprise seems impossible to become agile because they are the biggest and the most rigid forms of the business. Now, when you're talking about the understanding in reference to the strategies itself is concerned, when you talk about the strategy of enterprise transformation itself is concerned, which is something flexible on its size and percentages, which one should able in a position to understand that. So before I am getting into that strategies part and all that stuff, which I am going to explain you about the kind of differences between the traditional and agile organizations. This is what generally I am going to explain now. So when you talk about the differences between agile and traditional values, whatever the traditional value systems we have, all that stuff, when we talk about the difference between the traditional and agile value systems, majorly focusing on culture, strategy, structure, process, technology, and people. When you talk about the culture in reference to the traditional enterprises, which are stable and as well as risk averse, at the same time, when you're talking about learning enterprises and all, it is something majorly focusing on learning and adapting. When you talk about the strategy, the leaders will define the vision in the traditional enterprises, whereas in agile enterprises and all, a shared purpose and as well as vision will be shared here. When you talk about the structure in traditional enterprises, top-down hierarchy will be followed. Where in agile enterprises and all, we focus more on the network of empowered teams. Now, when you're talking about the structure itself is concerned, as I told you, like top-down hierarchy and network of empowered teams. Next, when we talk about the process and all, experience proven and traditional methods will be followed in the traditional organizations, whereas in agile organizations, rapid decisions and learning cycles are becoming necessary and important. At the same time, when we talk about the technology, it's a convention technology in the traditional model, but in reference to the agile organizations and all, it's a next generation enabling technology which will be adopted. But last but not least, when you talk about the people, in reference to the traditional organizations, it's a fixed people model. What is that we follow? But as far as agile organizations itself is concerned, it's a dynamic people model. What is that we follow here? So these are the major differences you see when you are comparing, when you want to compare any traditional and as well as agile organizations on a high level context, so that one will be knowing about more better and all that stuff. So this is what today I have explained. Of course, there were one more point which I was supposed to explain you, which I am going to explain now. The first was agile transformation. Let's have a quick understanding right from the beginning. What is that I have explained with you? So I have explained about agile transformation with you. At the same time, what enterprise transformation stands for was mentioned. At the same time, how different traditional and agile organizations was explained to you. Followed by this, even we have discussed about the kind of benefits of agile transformation, like customer satisfaction, operational performance, employee engagement satisfaction, all that. Now, when you talk about enterprise level transformation, the kind of strategies, what is that we need to implement? So these are the strategies to build enterprise transformation is required. So the first one is to establish a vision. Next, create empowered teams, followed by tools and techniques. First steps, adopt and accelerate. When we talk about the strategy of enterprise level transformation, in reference to establishing a vision itself is concerned, where this enterprise requires agile transformation, not just because of the others are doing as well as going with agile. Because of that, you want you to achieve the better results, where we need to understand the examples, including generating more revenue, reducing the field effects by the certain percentage of generating risk-free values at scale. At the same time, defining the goal and deliver it all to the satisfaction of the stakeholders involved in this transformation is also essentially important. When we talk about the second strategy, creating empowered teams, through agile training and coaching, equip the teams and as well as agile mindset. At the same time, set of competencies and techniques which encourages organic networks across the organization, which will be helpful in transferring the ownership of the process to empower teams and introduce a culture of continuous improvement. At the same time, introducing tools and technologies, enterprise agility requires cross-team communication tools, smart time and project management systems in place, integrate solutions that guaranteed seamless data exchange. At the same time, when you talk about the transparency and immediate recovery of case in the failure, by taking the first steps into an account, once your teams are equipped with tools and technologies, introduce the hands-on governance iterative approach to project delivery, active communication with the clients, and invest your efforts in building and maintaining this agile structure as well. When you talk about the adaptation part and all, it allows developing agile process to reshape the enterprise mindset and structure. Executive leadership and empowered teams respond to the changing demands of the market and clients to achieve gradual and steady progress. Now, when you're talking about the accelerate point of view, the teams have become disciplined and predictable, focus on organizational improvements, using agile tools to measure quantitative metrics and improve the delivery cycle as well. So these are the major strategies which normally we use to build enterprise transformations, especially from the organizational context. So this is what the whole session is all about. If you have any questions in regarding to this enterprise level transformation, if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, queries, or any needs in reference to the training, all that, please reach out to the contact details which will be posted on the below to this video. Thank you. Bye.